We, there you go. We should start live streaming. So it is now 4:31, and I'd like to call to order the special meeting of the Traffic Authority on February 7th, 2022. As I said, the time is 4:31. We have a quorum with Commissioner Fran Collier Clemens and Mayor Rilling. I understand that there's only one item on the agenda, so who's going to present that item?
I think we'll have the contractor present this. I think it's Jambro Middlesex or requesting it.
We'll have the item moved first. Commissioner Collier Clemens.
I move hearing the one item on the special meeting.
Okay. And Mr. Yosak, if you could read that into the record. I don't have the agenda in front of me.
Sure. One second. Let me just grab it here.
If you need me to get it, Mike, I have it.
I just found it. Thanks.
Okay.
It's presentation and discussion regarding accelerating the closure of East Avenue underneath the Metro North Bridge for State Project 301-515 Advanced Utility Work Walk Bridge Program.
Okay, so that item has been moved. And you said that it was going to be presented by Condot, I believe.
Yes, actually, I think I saw Vanessa Valderis wants to lead off with the presentation on this.
Okay, Vanessa, you have the floor.
Thanks, Mayor. I just want to actually Chimbro, and I have someone also from the state that will be here. This is their request to keep for a week the East Avenue under the bridge, right under the bridge, without affecting any of the driveway, closed for a period of a week. I just want to bring to your attention that the bridge usually is closed on that portion of the road is closed on a nightly basis where they're doing the work. So the request is to keep it closed through the day for a week. The reason for that is that they have to install some wallers under the bridge, and unfortunately, overnight is not enough time to excavate, install, backfill, and get the pavement back on time for them to have the traffic going. And there has been a little bit of a delay on the project. So I'm gonna ask Chimbro to, they put a little slideshow, so it will be easier for you guys to understand what is the request and what type of work they are doing. I don't know who from Chimbro wanna share the screen and maybe do the presentation, and I can add on as they go through. Would that be okay, Mayor?
Yep. Yes.
Good afternoon. This is Matt Riley from Chimbro Middlesex. With me is Tim Cooney to present this.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
The first slide that I want to go over is basically the scope of work that's involved.
I don't think the slide is up in the screen yet.
Excuse me, Vanessa?
Not yet. I think you have to hit share screen. See if you guys have the.
I'm sorry. I didn't.
It is. You just need to put on the Zoom. Perfect.
Okay.
Okay, we can all see, so you guys can go ahead.
Okay. So this is pretty much all this support is to support the bridge that everyone knows it's live railroad traffic, M&R. The bridge is very old. And this is what we have to do to support the bridge, to make sure there's no movement in order to facilitate, to excavate, to install the utilities. The picture on your left shows these are all steel whalers and struts, along with 44 micropile that have already been drilled in. All this has to be underneath the pavement and the road has to be accessible once it's completed. The picture on the right or in the middle, it just gives you an idea of how heavy the steel beams are and what we have to do on the outages to get them in. And again, the picture on your right is a plan view of the whole operation, which consists of the steel struts on either side of the abutment, along with the whalers that go longitudinal. The soldier pile has been drilled in already. And that's about it for the overview. I'm gonna flip to the next page. We've had 2 weekend outages already. We use CMJV is currently welding beam seats for the future whaler installation through full weekend closures. To install those steel beams, we have to weld steel seats so they can sit on them. And you can see we have to excavate every other hole. And you see how much you see the complicity of it all with the machinery and all the apparatus that we have there. I just want to let everybody know it has to be backfilled and paved again at the end of the outage. So this would be Sunday night. This has to be done, and we have Monday. We have we pave all the excavation so we can keep traffic moving during the week. Again, the installation of struts and whalers will continue through the full weekend closures or partial day night closures through 1-lane alternating patterns. Installation of lagging will then be performed through full weekend closures or partial day night closures through 1-lane alternating patterns. Now, this was the baseline plan. As we got into it further, we seem to be very difficult to perform this work and have it open for traffic at the end of a weekend outage or a night, especially a night closure. So that being said, I'm going to turn it over to Matt and just he'll give you a preview of our traffic patterns and what we do now, and he'll take it from here.
All right, so the current slide shows a couple options that we have within the contract that we've been using so far on the project. So one option on the top is for us to take 1-lane alternating traffic closures. This can be done during the week or on the weekends, and this allows for 1 lane of traffic to continue under the bridge, but it's in an alternating pattern, so northbound and southbound switching. And then, as we've been doing for the past couple weekends, the full closure of East Ave just closes the entire roadway just for the area under the bridge for the full weekend, and traffic detours around. We're requesting is to do a full week closure of this area rather than just the weekend to get more of this work done. You can see on the right, it shows a cross section of the work that we're performing along with what it would look like with that 1 9-foot lane allowing traffic through there. So a full weekend shutdown rather than the weekend or partial closure will benefit the city of Norwalk, CDOT, and CMJV for the following reasons. It'll minimize potential closures during summer months by getting more of this work done now rather than pushing just weekend and night and partial day closures for a longer period of time. No delay to the current project completion. This will, like I said, allow this work to get done sooner now. Increases the amount of work done during off-peak winter months rather than getting into the summer season. And also, as we all know, ridership is expected to increase. So there'll be more traffic in the following months around those stations on either side of the bridge. It'll also, there'll be a net positive effect on East Avenue traffic, one by getting it done in a shorter duration. And we've also seen that with these full closures, traffic tends to move just as efficiently as with the one lane alternating. And also, lastly, it's increased safety for our workers and passenger vehicles. For, you know, opens up a wider work zone for the area, and also vehicles aren't trying to cross through that narrow lane underneath with equipment moving around. So overall, it's just safer for everybody. And then this last slide just shows the detour. Sure, some people are familiar with it by now, but with that bridge closed, traffic is diverted through Van Zant and Fort Point Street to get around. And we'll open up the floor to questions.
Commissioner Collier-Clemens, do you have any questions?
Yes, could you put that slide that shows the traffic diversion again, please?
Commissioner, this is Vanessa. I just want to bring it up that this is the existing Detour. They are not proposing anything different. So when they came in front of the authority many months ago, actually probably a year already, that was the Detour that was proposed for the night closure. So they are not changing anything. They are not proposing any traffic within the local roads. It's really what is existing there.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions, Commissioner?
No, no other questions. And this is for the full 5 days, Monday through Friday? Or does that include the weekend? Is this going to be 5 days or 7 days that it's going to be a full closure?
We would like 7. And it would be
I
open.
think the proposal would be to start next weekend. I mean, the weekend of the 18th, I'm sorry, from Friday the 18th until Monday.
Excuse me, Vanessa, this is Gus Mel with Connecticut Department of Transportation. In reality, that weekend closure wouldn't happen as soon as that. Right now, in order for us to get proper public outreach, we would need at least 2 weeks advance notice to basically get the message out to everybody. We're going to do mailers, pretty much walk all the streets, hand out flyers to every residents along the detour route and along East Ave. So right now, we currently are obviously if the city of Norwalk does approve this, we would like to look for a little bit of flexibility on the exact date. It'd probably occur sometime in the month of March. There has been some weather delays on the project. So, you know, and with the fact that we would need at least 2 weeks closure, probably looking mid-March for a closure, but we don't want to nail down an exact date at this point.
And that closure would happen on a Friday night, correct? And then will be until the following Sunday or very early on Monday, right? So it's more kind of a total of almost.
It would be
9 days.
a 7-day closure, or it'd be 8 days, because it would start Friday night at 8 p.m. and it would go through until Friday afternoon of the following week. So it'd be 7 full days if you look in terms of hours.
So you're not sure of the actual time you want this to happen?
Correct, because right now the intent is, and you saw from the contractor's pictures, they're pretty much doing all the welding for the beam seats, and right now the intent is to maximize pretty much get all that work completed. The contract currently has been working on weekends right now under a pretty much working around the clock, starting Friday night through Sunday morning to get all those beam seats, whalers in, and then when they do the shutdown, they have to put a significant amount of lagging, which would completely require the road to be shut down at that point. We are very concerned with the stability of the structure. We currently have a lot of monitoring equipment on there, 4 tilt meters, seismic meters, and we have automated total stations taking readings on the bridge structure. So once they go in there to excavate and put in that lagging, that's when the structure stability is at most at risk. So that's the point in which we would like them to utilize it for that full week closure. So they could go there and excavate that and stabilize that structure. But once the lagging is in place, then we feel a lot more confident on the stability of the bridge. So right now, based on the schedule, it's looking like it'd be mid-March. But we have had some other delays. They were supposed to work in last weekend, but we had the blizzard. So, if we hadn't had any delays, it would be looking like February 24th would have been the weekend. But this time of year, we got to kind of play a little bit by ear given the weather.
So good, but we can say that it's probably like as soon as mid-March and probably no later than mid-April, correct?
Correct, absolutely.
Okay,
And the contractor, Chimbro, could chime in if.
Yes, first of all, I think Vanessa, it'll be a little bit, you are correct when we want to shut it down from a Friday night to the following Monday. So it'd be a little more than 10 days maybe?
Yeah, so I just want to also explain that you guys have the right to close during the weekends. That was already granted to them in the last time that they came in front of the authority. So pretty much the weekends, they already have that right. So what they are asking is that even during the week, they pretty much keep it closed during the day, since also they have the right to close at night. There is a maximum of days that they can do that, but they are not even close to them. So that's why what would be granted will be kind of a non-stop operation during that period where they don't need to reopen. Also, I know that Gus mentioned about the public outreach. I know that last time there were some questions related to that. DOT is responsible with WSP for all the public outreach for this project. They have been doing a very good job. They make sure that everyone knows when we're going to have any of the closures. There are VM signs that are posted on East Avenue. The Detour signs are up. There are newsletters that goes out, and also they go to each business and then they do a flyer that they hand deliver. On our side as engineering, we haven't received any complaints when those closures have happened. I drive by some of those weekends when I know that they have a full weekend closure and the traffic actually hasn't been an issue. Also, the Strawberry Hill Bridge project is on a winter shutdown, so no construction is happening on Strawberry Hill now. So that is also, if you guys entertain the possibility of closing East Avenue, this is a good time to do that because we don't have any other DOT project going on Strawberry Hill that I know that some of the residents use as an alternate route.
so let me just make sure I understand. As it sits right now, you probably will not be doing this during the month of February.
Ideally, we would do this as soon as the 25th, the night of the 25th. Obviously, whatever process is needed for approval and then the outreach will drive some of that, but that would be the ideal start of this closure for us.
And you needed this meeting now in case the 25th was a good time to do it so that you'd have plenty of time to plan and you'd know you have the authority, or because the next meeting of the traffic authority is next week.
Yes, that's correct.
But we still don't have an exact date. It may be, did I also hear Vanessa say it could be as late as mid-March? I mean, mid-April?
We
That's
would
what I
not. We would not want to do it later than that because we're trying to get the benefit of doing this during the off-peak times.
Yeah, you get into April, and then if there's, I know these kinds of things sometimes presents some surprises. And if a week is not going to be enough and you're in mid-April, you're likely going to be going into May.
I would like to propose then the week of the 25th.
Okay. If you can do it on the week of the 25th, I mean, I think we can move forward with it. I'd be a little bit concerned. I know also some of the complaints we've had is the lack of communication with members of the public and some of the businesses in the area. So we need some sort of a complete and comprehensive outreach, especially to the businesses such as the gas stations right at the corner of Winfield, the gas station at the corner of Fitch, the gas station across the street at the corner of Fort Point, and the restaurants over there. You have a couple of restaurants and things. So we need make sure that people get notified and that the lines of communications are open and they feel comfortable with what's about to happen.
Understood.
Gus from DOT Gus, he's representing DOT, Mayor. So I think that, Gus, can you please confirm that on your
Correct,
side,
Mayor.
that
All
you're
pub-
working on that?
Correct. WSP will be working on public outreach. Right now, that's completely handled by DOT, and like Vanessa had stated, as part of the public outreach program, we are using the website to notify everybody. We're going to do pretty much hand deliver mailers, letting everybody know 2 weeks prior to the closure, and which would include all the business on East Ave, pretty much from the 95 entrance all the way past Winfield, which would include all those businesses that you have named. And we would do it with 2 weeks advance notice. There's also VMS boards going along on East Ave that would be pretty much notifying everybody 2 weeks in advance. So the date that you're proposing now, that the contract proposed the 25th, because in order to do the proper public outreach, and I know the dates are kind of around, if the contract commit March 4th, DOT will be able to do proper public outreach. And then we will use March 11th as a backup weather date. If that's okay with everybody here, that's the dates in order to basically notify everybody properly.
So let me be clear here as to what I think I've heard is that you want to propose a start of the closure on March the 4th in order for all public government entities to be able to inform the public. In the event that March the 4th doesn't work, then the alternate date would be March the 11th.
Correct.
We would accept that, but the 25th would also give more than 2 weeks worth of notice.
And Conduct can't commit to that. I've spoken internally with our department, and that is the earliest that we would be able to do all the proper outreach. Like you said, we want to be able to notify everybody and pretty much give everybody advance notice so that this could be a successful operation. We're going to be out here in Norwalk for a very long time with the walkway program, and we're also going to be doing closures for the East Ave replacement. So that would allow us for proper notifications to everybody.
Okay, now, Mayor, I've got another
Yep, go ahead.
remark. I think the 25th is rather ambitious, since you did mention that there have been some delays due to the weather. This is still February, and we don't know what's coming up. We know what's being said that's coming up, but we never know. So I would be more inclined to look at the 4th and the 11th as far as informing, and the fact that there may be some more inclement weather coming along that will affect starting a closure date of the 25th of February. That's only like 2.5 weeks.
We're agreeable to that.
That'd be fine.
Yeah, and understand, and as I mentioned before, these kinds of things throw a lot of curveballs and surprises, and there's a possibility that the amount of work you're trying to get done or the work that's necessary might not be able to be accomplished in that period of time. I hope it is. But the later we get into March, the less likelihood it is that we're going to be able to give you authority to go beyond and to extend the time that you want to keep that closed underneath because of the weather changing and more traffic. And like I said, if we're getting into April and May, that's going to be extremely problematic. So I think we should say shooting for March 4th, and we can give you a date if that doesn't work to March 11th. But if either one of those are not going to be the time, you need to come back before this body and talk about what the situation is and what you're going to need to move forward.
That sounds reasonable.
Commissioner Clemens?
That's okay. So that's agreeable to me.
All right.
Shall I make a motion?
Yes, please.
Okay.
You already made the motion. You might want to amend it.
Okay, I amend my original motion to grant approval for road closure on East Avenue with a beginning date of March the 4th for full closure through the following Monday, which would be the 14th of March, with a possible other date, a start of March the 11th, concluding on March the 21st.
All right. Any further questions or comments from TMP or police department?
Just Gus from DMV, on this call is Sabrina Church. Sabrina is our Director of Economic Development. If you could also include any notification for the businesses to Sabrina so that she could ensure that we get this out. And if we can continue to work on the detour, I agree with Vanessa, the detour has worked. I think this is the time to do it. The sooner, the better. So the earlier, if we can make the earlier date of the 4th, I think that's ideal.
Okay. Any further questions or discussions? All right, again, just know that if you need to extend your time, you're being granted approximately 10 days from a Friday to the second Monday after that Friday. And you'll have to come back to this body and ask for an extension, and be prepared to make your case. So I'll call the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries unanimously. Motion to adjourn, Commissioner.
I move adjournment.
Okay, we are adjourned at 4:59. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.